Hello YouTube and welcome back. So we're off work again, so let's see what we can get on with in this episode. As you can see, I've started mocking up the brake lines. Now this is just copper because it's easier to form. I am going to be using conifer, which I've got a couple of rolls of. So we'll just try and get the shapes and the bends right. I've put some of the body clips in. And then my idea is rather than leave it bare, is to paint it. Now, that might be a bit controversial, but even the conifer goes off after a while. So yeah, let's have a look. I've picked a colour. I don't know if you're going to like it. So, I managed to pick up the correct cover for an S1. I bought an S2 one. Yeah, silly me, it was brand new, thought it was cheap, I thought, hey, and it was wrong. So anyway, I've managed to find the S1, which is totally different than the S2. Now then, brake pipe colour. Let's put it against something white and see what your thoughts are. So, it's not a million miles away from what I remember Vauxhalls, I think it was, had this colour on their brake pipes. I think it looks quite factory. The colour is NATO green. Well, that's what they call it. It actually looks a bit greener on the camera than it actually is. It's more of a slightly darker shade than that. But yeah, I can only try. If they look rubbish, I can always paint them again, can't I? But I think it'll look alright. So I need to now start thinking about making these pipes in the conifer and obviously flaring all the ends to screw into the master cylinder. Obviously these at the moment, these are just little plugs that I left in so that when I painted that they didn't, because obviously this just came cast. I was trying to get one that was already zinc plated, but I just couldn't find one. So anyway, it came cast, so I've just masked it off and painted it up, because say I wanted to go all this effort just to have something go rusty. So let's crack on with the brake pipes. Brake pipes, you'll have to excuse the workbench. It's an absolute bomb tight. I am trying to sort everything out and put things in. I've got some small roll cabs underneath the workbench, which I'm going to put all my little consumable bits in. Split pins, you know, circlips, etc, etc, etc. So I'm going to get it all in the drawers and get this cleared up, honest. So brake pipes, your unions, you have a male and a female union. So I'll get one of these out. So that's your male union. Now there are different types of these. There's some that are fully threaded to the end, which are usually, I think, the Japanese ones threaded to the ends. There is, obviously, you've got metric and UNF. UNF used to be the old stuff like classic minis, etc. And most of the modern stuff is metric. Say the Jap ones are slightly different. They have a slightly different flare as well. And you have a female flare. Now these both obviously have different types of flares to make them work. So your male one, we'll just grab that. So your male one has a ball type fitting on the end, which obviously goes on the end of there. And your female one has a cup You can see that, get it in focus, and that sits inside there. Obviously the machine will do both. It has a little jack, so you've got that's your female end, and then that's your male end. So yeah, I've got a little bit of scrap pipe in here because I'm getting it ready to put on the vehicle, but I thought I'd just quickly show you this. So obviously you get your pipe central, sits just on the end of your die, and then basically you just squash. Yeah, nice bench vice one. These are brilliant. These I have got a hand mounted one, which I bought years ago, which is a Blue Point one, which is quite good, to be honest. Good for doing it when you're on the car trying to do it. And then I've got, well, I used to have one of these wing nut type ones. Oh my God, waste of space. Threw it straight in the bin. Not worth having. So basically, there's your flare, and obviously your pipe sits up into it. So there are some variations of that on the Japanese cars. Yeah, so that's your male flare. Now I'll get the pipe and I'll show you, because I've got to do a female end on this. So pipe's ready to go. So now what you got to remember is put the end on before you flare it. So if you don't, you're in a whole world of trouble. So that sits in there. Top of the die goes on. So it sits to about the end. Now, rightly or wrongly, this is how I was shown many, many, many years ago on doing these. So when you're doing a female flare, you start with a male flare and you basically just go about halfway, then you flick your die around onto the female end, and then you go all the way. Let's get that off there. Wriggle that free, and then what you're left with is a nice female flare, which will sit in there. Obviously, let's get that male one. So what happens is when you bolt these together, so you have your male flare, which will sit on there like that. Then your female flare, they go together, and then they bolt together, which holds that in place, which makes you join. So there you go. Let's have a look at this on the car. Right, so what I've done is copied the hose. That's obviously the cheap, easy, bendable copper one. And this is the copper nickel, which is a lot harder wearing and it's a bit harder to bend. It's not that hard, but it's hard enough. So that what I did, I taped these together so that I got my lines the same. So let's try this on the car. I'm just going to sit in there. Oh, in fact, we need to start at the bottom first and work it underneath. because I put the anti-roll bar on just to make things awkward. Let's bring that round. Up there. That goes round there. That'll screw into there. I don't want to clip these in because I have got to paint this. So I'm not sure if you can actually see there. Let's take you off this. So once that's that has just literally just started. Follows the line round. I think it looks quite neat. I've noticed on these they come out and then they follow this line back down again. Shoots back in. It will clip into that one, and then it clips into that one. And then if we just go underneath the car, there we go. It follows it underneath, round the anti-roll bar, and then ready for the connector, which will then run down to the back of the car. One done. Let's crack on with the rest. So we're all bent up. I've masked up the unions on the end, and obviously the flare, and then we're going to spray them in my NATO green. I actually like this colour, but it isn't going to stay like this. It will go dull very, very quickly and look terrible. I was tempted to lacquer them, and I didn't know how long it'd last on it. But anyway, let's NATO green them. Steering column, I've just had a lick of paint. I've put a new ignition barrel in there, so that is ready to bolt to the vehicle, because like I said, I need to get this thing on the wheels. So without getting overspray over everything, just a quick, not going wild with these things. It is basically just going to be a quick dust of paint, just to protect them. Now this paint is from the finest discount shop that we have here near me, and they're only cheap, but if I'm honest, I actually find them alright. I mean, I bought some black for that, and I bought some black for my bumper grill, and it's about £8 a can for an aerosol. Very expensive stuff these days, and that's not even starting on fuel prices. Yeah, I'm not sure where the UK is going at the minute, because cost of living is going through the roof, and obviously we've all got all our projects as well, which cost money. There you go. I think they look alright, that colour. I actually do like it. See what that dries like, and then I'm going to crack on and get the other one made. I'm not going to bore you with you watching that. I then need to look at the front ones. I've just been sorting out the brackets. They're really heavily pitted. I wanted to zinc plate them really, but it won't. They're too pitted, it won't work. So let's bring you back in once I've done the other one. There we go. Right, that's all the rear ones, well, the front section of the rear ones fitted. yeah, it's not perfect. That one probably sits a little bit higher, but yeah, they're not that bad. So we just work the way down. There is a clamp that fits to these. However, one of the legs has snapped off, so I'm trying to find another one of them. Obviously this connects all four together here, but yeah, they work the way down okay. So the front ones now, this one is for the right, it's got to come down across into this here, down, and then underneath here, and then the near side front again will do the same. That'll come out, down, back, down here, and then onto this, run along here, down and across, and then under the chassis rail. So yeah, that's going to be it for today, because I'm back in work tomorrow. So might be a few days now before I catch up where we're up to, but for you it'll be in the next couple of seconds. Finally got the tyres fitted to the rims. I've used little short valves and they've been balanced from the rear so you can't see the balance weights, and they didn't scratch them when they fitted them, so very happy with that. So there you go, just like that, we're back. I've been in work for 4 days. The sun is out today. We need to get the front ones done. Now, these are going to be awkward because there's a lot of bending involved. Yeah, I'm not sure how I'm going to tackle these, but I'm going to get some pipe cut ready. And I think I'm just going to have to attack it. So let's see where we get up to. They're in. That was a mission. So front ones come underneath the chassis rails, go along up the front. I've bought some clips. It's just the two clips together. Yeah, they're not perfect, but you get a general idea of where they're meant to be. So yeah, right, that's them done. I'm going to leave the front to rear ones at the minute because I can get to them fairly easy. Obviously the rear beam ones, I can get to them as well. Got the clips now that run across the rear beam, across the rear cross member, sorry, that connect the rear beam up. So I'm not sure what I'm going to do next. I suppose really I should put it on its wheels. Let's do that. Something's missing. It's alright, I haven't sold it. We're on some slave wheels. She sits extremely high. Sun's really bright. Yeah, very, very high. I'm hoping it'll come down. But yeah, I haven't got much hope really, if I'm honest. I think it's way too high. But that's the GTI Springs. Yeah, so we're having a clean up in the garage. I've put the Rallye arches on just to try and get a sort of measure of the height it's going to be. So the back isn't too long. Obviously, we've got no interior in this, no engine, no engine, no bonnet, no glass. So there is weight to go in it. Just don't think that is going to change much. So, going to get it on the skates so it's easier to move around the garage, and then I am going to have a massive tidy up. So, we're on the skates. As you can see there, the extent of how high it is at the front. Yes, we are missing the engine, but they're not that heavy. I think the rear is going to sit absolutely perfect. Just may have to invest in some lowered 106 GTI springs, I think. That's the only way around it. So we're going to crack on. We're going to have a tidy, and then we're going to do the bodywork. But I just thought I'd show you. So this is where I was saying that dent was underneath this arch. Once the arch is in place, and it's all pushed in, I don't think you'll see it. The dent is just there as the whole quarter has been pushed in. But you never know. Until paint's on it, you can't really tell. Need to get everything masked off as well before I start rubbing this down. So these doors are just on temporary, but as you can see underneath, they are really, really good. Better than the Rallye doors, as they had some rust. Right, tidy up time. Untrained eye, it doesn't look like I've done much, but believe me, I've been at it for hours tidying up. All my tools are there, all my paint's there. I've cleared here, so obviously I can now get to my two vices. I've got my mobile vice, which goes on my trestle tables when I'm doing stuff outside. But yeah, still got boxes of Peugeot bits everywhere. Obviously the zinc plating kit takes up some room. Still struggling with that. The bigger stuff will not work properly. I don't know what it is I'm doing wrong. But anyway, let's just have a quick look at the bodywork before I end the video to see where we're going to go with it. So that is all Rallye stuff, obviously not the tyres. I've cleared the bench. We've got two vices. I've got my mobile vice. These cabinets here, I've just got bits in, you know, like my soldering stuff, wire, consumables, got bulbs and electrics in that one. My main box has got all my tools in, but it doesn't matter how big your garage is, it just gets full of stuff. So, front springs, these are KYB Peugeot 106 GTI standard front springs. As you can see, it sits high. Even when it's got the engine, the bonnet, the glass, the interior, and everything else, I still think it's going to be too high. But I'm going to wait until everything's on, and then I'll have to work out whether I'm going to need lower springs or not. Annoying, but you just can't get the Series 1 Rallye springs and standard ones. I have tried. I spoke to KYB. They said they're not listed. They are a different part number. They're the same as the XSI. If anyone's breaking an XSI with standard springs on it, give me a shout. I might be interested. So, rear quarter. I've put a guide coat on that, and I'm going to flat that back to see how the shape is looking. The door second hand, that side trim moulding, somebody decided they were tiger sealing on, and what an absolute pain it was to get off. Now, I'm not sure whether there's any high spots, low spots, etc., but I need to primer it, guide coat it, and then start flattening that back, and see how we go with that. Obviously, once that's done, I then can push the car, because obviously we're on these skates. I can push the car further that way, so then I can work on the other side. So that's the plan of attack, but that is going to be in the next video. Progress wise, we're back on its wheels. It's going to make it easier to do the bodywork because I can move it around. Yeah, we've had a bit of a tidy up. Still struggling with the zinc plating. That one perfect. Well, perfect-ish. That one didn't work. Same setting. I really don't know. I cannot get my head around why the bigger stuff won't do. Nuts and bolts, absolutely perfectly fine. Let's move forward and we'll just grab them. Them work perfectly fine. So I really don't know what's going on with it. I've just turned it off for now and just leave it alone because I'll just get frustrated with it. So bodywork next. See if we can get it into primer, and then hopefully we'll get it into some paint. Thanks for watching. Thanks for the comments on the last one. Appreciate it. Everyone stay safe. Summer's on its way. Yay. And let's get our project sorted out. Take care, everyone.